Hello everyone, welcome to this cozy art vlog. Today we're going to draw a cat, and we have this beautiful reference photo that I took about 6 months ago in summer in Vienna. So Vienna is not too close to where we live now. We live in a small village close to a big lake, and Vienna is about, I would say, an hour with the car in distance. And I'm not a city person, but there are some areas in Vienna also that are absolutely beautiful. I mean, the culture is obviously beautiful, and the architecture of the buildings is marvelous, right? It's incredible. But what I prefer is this combination of architecture and nature. I really love that. If there's beautiful architectural elements and entwined with nature, so you have a beautiful park around, for instance, or a forest, or just a little stream, or anything in between, big park, small park. Doesn't have to be a forest, but some natural area, where you can withdraw from the world a little bit and just regenerate your senses, where you can regenerate your energy, and where you can just feel connected to this beautiful planet. There's so much concrete and so much man-made structures in this world, which again is beautiful, but I think we need to come back to nature. We need to profoundly connect with Mother Gaia on a deeper level than ever before. My wife and I, we absolutely love cats, and everywhere we go we at least meet one new cat friend and they run towards us. We kind of became cat whisperers, I feel, which we have not been in the past. We always were surrounded by cats. We always deeply adored cats. But I don't remember that just a couple of years ago that when we went to places, or when I went to places, that cats would run towards me that excitedly. Now, it changed in the last, I would say, 2-3 years, especially since I met my wife. We married 3.5 years ago. Almost 3.5 years ago. Now whenever we go to places, cats just love to interact with us, and I'm so grateful for that, because they have such a loving, soothing energy. With this drawing we want to honor this loving energy, but also this royal element. I think cats have this innately royal flair and aura to them, this regal aura, and they just emit this strength, elegance, royalty, calmness. They have this sense of coolness also to them, I think, and this unbreakable confidence. These are just some elements that I really love about cats. Of course, I love their healing energy. They have so much love, I think, to give, especially when they purr, when they come running to you, and when they flop on the ground and let themselves be petted, and when they meow at you from distance. Independent if they get treats or not, I think cats have this really big-hearted nature to them, which I don't think they're given enough credit for. But with this drawing, I wanted to combine both of these, like the elegance and the beauty of just the aesthetic elements of cats, of these beautiful furry feline beings, but at the same time also this confidence, this stability, right? They are unrattled, unfazed by things. And I do think that when we don't look, they go to other places, not just on this planet. I think in their minds, in their imaginations, they go to other worlds. And I think they're way more powerful than we give them credit for. So here I'm just using a graphite pencil. This is actually one of those, it looks like a mechanical pencil. It's not one of these thin pencil leads, it's a pencil holder, you could say a lead holder. And you can of course put in the shapes, the shadows as shapes, as basic shapes. If you want to go for that look, at least I want to go for that look. It's not like hyper realistic or anything, it's just has some form of realism, but it still has this character flair. So it could be a character. And my wife called him, what name comes to your mind? She's like, Timothy. And immediately when I heard the name, I was like, yeah, Timothy, obviously, he looks like a Timothy. And I thought, let's add a little bit of a punchier note to it and let's make him a prince, Prince Timothy. He looks like a prince to me. When we saw him in real life also, and the way he moved towards us, and he exuded this nonchalance, this confidence, and really, I don't know, it also made sense because this is, the photo we took was in a park in Vienna, close to a big mansion, a mansion that originally belonged to Sissi, so the very famous princess, Austrian princess, duchess. I don't know what the translation exactly is in English. I would say she's a princess. And this huge mansion belonged to her, and the park is huge. Like the walk there is the path that you walk to this mansion is really beautiful. And on the way, we just spotted this cat. He came to us and he flopped down and he let himself be petted. And other tourists walked by, and he didn't seem to mind. He was very calm and he was very relaxed, and he seemed to be used to people. And maybe given the surroundings, maybe that's the reason why I associate him with some form of royal background, why I want to give him a royal title. So it would be the perfect time to switch to the darker tones, to the Mars Lumograph Black, or whatever brand you have, right, that's similar to this. This would be the perfect time. And I still want to sketch this in a little bit more here. This beautiful pattern. It's really an incredible pattern. If you look at it close enough, the more you look at cats and draw cats, the more you realize how beautiful the fur really is. This pattern is very interesting. It's like this closed loop, but it continues on the other side. Very beautiful. Of course, it doesn't look like the reference photo exactly, but we also kind of want to change that, right? We want to make it a little bit of a different character. This is another very artist beloved tool, the Mono Zero, the Elastomer Eraser by Tombow, I think. Yeah, Tombow Mono Zero Eraser, perfect for erasing thin lines. This is 2.3 millimeters, ultra fine they call it. There's probably even finer ones, but you refill it like this, and very handy for smaller areas, but I sometimes even use it for pencil lines. I wanted to say brush strokes, for pencil lines that I'm not super thick, or I could use the other eraser, but I just love the feel of it because it's literally like a pencil. So some people even like to draw with this. So you can do that. You can cover the whole paper in graphite, and you can start to erase, and with the lines that you erase, out of that you create your drawing, your erased drawing, right? It's also fun, I guess, but I never tried that with a full painting. You can do that here also if you want to add some highlights in more shadowy areas, for instance, and you first sketch in the shadows and you fill out the form, and then you can carefully use gentle lines with the eraser to indicate these highlights in the shadowy areas. So I'm trying to recreate this beautiful pattern that he has on his fur. On his legs, it looked like almost distinct shapes, separate from the rest of his body, but of course it's all one whole structure. So here we are constantly using the Mars Lumograph pencils, so different strengths. Again, you can play with it, and once again, you don't need the same brand, you don't even need to have these dark pencils, you can just do it with normal lead pencils. So I'm refining a little bit the legs, the paws, the fluffy furry paws. He was not super furry, not super fluffy, as you see by the reference photo. He's more of a short hair type of guy. But I think all cats are equally beautiful. This video, I wanted to make this video not only to share my art with you and my process a little bit, and to soothe your mind and heart, and to just give you a little bit of some peaceful time away from all the hustle and all the straining, life that happens outside of our free time, or whatever is going on inside of you. I hope this calms you a little bit and gives you a little bit of some cozy time. But what I wanted to do also with this video is to kind of process my nostalgia and my emotions, because I had to let go, and still am in the process of letting go of a lot of things this year. A lot of good things happened. We got a new apartment that's more than twice as big as the old one. The old one was very, very small. It was just 30 square meters for 2 people. That's very small. If you ever try to share a space where there's literally only one room for everything, the living room, the bedroom, the workspace, and then just a tiny room attached to that for the kitchen. So we changed location, and it was more out of necessity than really wanting to change the scenery, because where we lived was so utterly beautiful, so unbelievably gorgeous, and so heart-centered and warming. And it was just the nature there and the park that we had close to our apartment. We had such an attachment, and I think there's definitely still a part of me that has this deep longing, this yearning to go back. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's this sensation of that your old life not really crumbled away, but faded away, and it feels like a distant dream. The most beautiful dream once you look at it all of a sudden. So this glass of gratitude, through this lens of gratitude, and you realize, well, actually, even all the pain, all the emotional, the mental, the physical pain and strain and at times suffering, even that, there's so much beauty in it. There's so much to be grateful for, and so much to cherish in those, even in those painful moments, in those painful phases of life. And I would say last year and this year, emotionally extremely draining for me. There's so much to be grateful for. And I am, when I make this video, and when I edited this video, and now when I'm talking to you guys, I realize, and when I see all these pictures, I realize how cherishable everything is and how beautiful everything is. Not only the big moments, but also the small moments. And I'm incredibly touched on such a deep level that I can't put it into words. And at the same time, there's this blanket of sadness, of melancholy, of longing, of yearning for what was and no longer is. There's this pain, and there's this beauty in the pain also. The beauty in tragedy, you could say. And I look at these moments, these pictures and videos, and even when there's no photo or video attached to the memory, just the memory that arises in my mind, in my consciousness, sometimes I'm overwhelmed with emotion. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, which is beautiful. But sometimes I'm also overwhelmed with the pain. And it's this balance, it's like maybe there's this realization of, okay, this is different. This is a new chapter. This is new experiences coming in. And these are to be cherished. These are to be experienced fully in the present moment. Without any neglect of our feelings, our true feelings and sensations and what we go through internally or even externally, Sometimes we can't hide it. And I also think we should not hide it. We should give our emotions and our feelings and all our sensations the space to be experienced, to be expressed and to be lived through without spiraling, And personally, I definitely had trouble this year with not spiraling. In fact, there was one moment, or rather a series of moments, almost a year ago, at the end of January of 2025, right after my wife's birthday, where I was not sure whether I would have to live without her, because she was very sick. She had pneumonia to such a high degree. She described it as she felt like fading away, fading and dissolving. We went to the doctor many times. We even called the ambulance, and there were so many things in that experience that felt like they shouldn't have happened. And at the same time, what it did was it brought us even closer. All the moments that came after and that came before, all of a sudden were tinted in so much more beauty and poetry. It's not the big flamboyant moments of life that touch us. At least not only those. More often, it's the small, deceptively simple things that can move us beyond measure. Moments you'll never forget. A zestful orange sunset on a freezing winter day. Rustling leaves of a majestic oak tree animated by the soothing breeze of autumn. A bird caressing the blue sky with his gracious wings. A feline friend greeting you as you take a walk in the village nearby. It's the world around you, the world inside of you. The moments you sculpt as memories, carved into the fabrics of time. It's all there for each one of us, to inspire us, to reconnect us, to show us what a gift it all is. All of it. All the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens. No matter where you are in this world, know that you are precious, that everything you experience and have experienced and are going to experience, everything you are and have been and are going to be, is not without reason or purpose. You're an eternal child of the stars, a fragment of the whole, and the whole itself. You're the river and the sun, the flower and the moon. You're the snow that glistens in the winter landscape. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Your heart will thank you. And now, I'll see you in the next chapter of this wondrous odyssey we call life. Be well, my friend. Thank you.